Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Science Actuary students. Today we like to present our assignment and our firm is Airasia. Next, our content. First, overview and core activity. Second, we will talk about type of market structure. Thirdly, production cost curve and revenue curve. And fourth, pricing strategy. And lastly, we will talk about equilibrium condition.
Okay, the overview. Airasia is a Malaysian low-cost airline and currently Asia's largest low-fare, no-frills airline. The main hub is KLIA2, the low-cost carrier terminal LCCT at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, in Sepang, Selangor, Malaysia. The airline was established on 20 December 1993 and officially started its operation on 18 November 1996. It was originally founded by a government-owned conglomerate, DRB Highcom. However, the airline faced failures year after year towards making profits and kept losing money. Later on 2 December 2001, Tony Fernandez of Tune Ace Nuremberg decided to buy the heavily indebted airline for the price of RM1 together with RM40 million worth of debts. Just 1 year after his takeover, Airasia had broken even and cleared all its debts. Under Tony Fernandez's leadership, the airline was flying high in 2002 and finally launched new routes from its hub in Kuala Lumpur, undercutting former monopoly operator Malaysia Airlines with promotional fares as low as RM1. Then in 2003, Airasia opened a second hub at Senai International Airport in Johor Bahru near Singapore and even launched its first international flight to Bangkok, Thailand. The flight to Bangkok was a success. Since then, the airline has been expanding its routes to different countries including Singapore, Indonesia, China, Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Brunei, Myanmar, and now it has covered more than 165 destinations spanning 25 countries. In order to keep the business going, Airasia also has affiliate airlines of its own which are ASIA X, Airasia China, Airasia Vietnam, and others. Airasia has managed to make its name as the world's best low-cost airline for 10 years in a row in International Travel and Airlines Awards, including the latest award for 2018. Even in 2007, the New York Times described the airline as a pioneer of low-cost travel in Asia and made it to be ranked among the top 5 most recognized, also favorable airlines in the Asia Pacific 1000 brands in 2008. Airasia believes in the no-frills, hassle-free, and low-fare business concept. Through the corporate philosophy of now everyone can fly, Airasia has sparked a revolution in air travel with more people in every social classes choosing Airasia as their preferred choice of transport. Today, Airasia becomes the leading and largest low-cost carrier in Asia, serving the most extensive network with over 165 routes covering destinations in and around Asia.
Okay, apparently, we'll talk about core activity. Airasia has 6 core activities. First, it provides air transportation services worldwide, primarily in Malaysia. Secondly, it runs scheduled passenger flights and chartered flights. Third, offers services such as air cargo services and aircraft leasing. Fourth, it engages into a operating business and fifth, manages facilities, namely shared and outsourcing. And sixth, central depository services for its affiliates and airline operation services while managing other interconnected services. Next, we will talk about the market structure of Airasia. Its market structure is oligopoly, which the characteristics are: first, a few sellers offer similar or identical products. As you know, Airasia is an aviation industry, so only few company offers the same service. For example, secondly, these few firms also dominate the market. The few firms are Firefly, Malaysia Airlines, and Malindo Airlines. And thirdly, slightly little changes or actions made by every firm will affect its rival because the firms are producing products that are visually identical. So, the barrier to enter this industry, which is this aviation industry, first, the economies of scale. Economies of scale are explained as the increase in efficiency of production. When production is efficient, the average cost of a firm is lower. The firm can then sell their product or services at a very low price or at a price below the cost price of their potential new entrant, thus driving it out of business. Airasia can also do the same thing as the cost production of the airline is rather low of the volume supply. Any new entrants would be out of the market very quickly because they cannot make enough profit to cover the cost. Second, a high initial startup cost. So, the aviation industry is not the cheap industry, as you know. Thus, a big amount of initial startup cost is needed in order to run this business. Even despite the high startup cost, a new firm is able to penetrate into the market. The firm would be very much underdeveloped in terms of technology used and would not be as stable as Airasia.
Okay, so now we want to talk about production cost curve and revenue curve. Cost can be divided into two types. The first cost is called fixed cost, which is average fixed cost. It's the fixed cost divided by the quantity produced. The second cost is variable cost, cost that can be changed when the firm alters the quantity of output produced. Next is the total cost, which is the sum of fixed cost and variable cost. Average fixed cost is the fixed cost divided by the quantity produced, and average variable cost is the variable cost divided by the quantity of output produced. And then average total cost is the sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost, and the average total cost curve is U-shaped. Next is the marginal cost. Marginal cost is the amount that total cost rises when the firm produces an extra unit of output and it is upward sloping. Thus, marginal cost rises as the production increases. The marginal cost curve is upward slope and it shows diminishing marginal product. Diminishing marginal product is when the quantity of input increases. The marginal product will decline. The marginal cost curve intercepts at the minimum of average total cost curve because marginal cost increased above average total cost when these two curves cross with each other, and average total cost start to rise at this level of quantity output. Total revenue is price times with quantity. Average revenue is total revenue divided with the quantity of output. Next, marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is the change in total revenue from an additional unit sold. From the graph, the curve for the price is the horizontal line, and it is the same for average revenue and marginal revenue because a competitive firm is a price taker. Regardless how much the firm produces the output, the price will remain the same.
Okay, next, the pricing strategy to maximize profit. First, satisfaction. Airasia also increased supply and adding routes to ensure consumers can enjoy their services. Airasia added new routes to more places and increasing the number of flights to maximize their profit. At the same time, fulfill the demand of consumers and avoid consumers from choosing substitutes. In addition, Airasia utilized a strategy in which they increased the price of tickets when there are limited number of seats left. AirAsia knew that when there are limited number of a product or service, consumers tend to spend more on that product to fulfill their satisfaction and demand. Second, promotion strategies. The promotion strategy is aimed at generating attention rather than purely sales. Once the set numbers of free tickets are given away, there is still much buzz about the remaining packages and other alternative offers. For example, free seat promotion and mega sale promotion. AirAsia promotional strategy is deployed in such a manner in order to generate positive consumer feedback via its efficient and cost-effective option. Okay, next, social class. AirAsia may have segmented their market into lower, middle, and upper social classes on the basis of this variable because different social classes tend to have different purchasing behavior, brand preference, and expectation. Okay, next, tricks. To maximize the profit, AirAsia had set rule to limit the weight of hand luggage at 7 kg. Customers who have hand luggage over than 7 kg are not allowed to bring it to the aircraft. This strategy has forced consumers to pay extra for baggage when check-in for flights. Besides, AirAsia also don't allow customers to bring their own food on plane, but consumers are allowed to pre-order for meals when purchasing their tickets, or consumers can purchase meal on the plane. This is an opportunity for AirAsia to gain and boost their profits. Lastly, penetration pricing. By lowering the price, AirAsia attracted a lot of consumers to boost their profits. Thus, AirAsia has successfully positioned itself in customer mind. Low-cost strategy has led AirAsia towards success to clear all the debts in approximately 1 year time, and AirAsia has overcome mass and become Asia's largest low-fare, no-frills airline.
Okay, next is equilibrium conditions. Okay, so what is market equilibrium? Market equilibrium is a situation for firms when supply of a good or product is same as demand, and this is happen when buyers and sellers agree on price and quantity. And look at the graph. It is like between supply is the same as demand. So for the short run is where a firm only able to influence prices through adjustment to production level. Short run refer to less than a year, and long run would be more than a year. So as the case for AirAsia, in the short run there will have just a few workers and small officers. Therefore, in the short run, price will be inelastic for the quantity demanded, as it is not sensitive to price yet. Besides that, in the first year, AirAsia is known as a newbie in airlines industry, where not many people know about it. In a short run production, at least one variable is fixed. AirAsia's short production started when it began operating. The airline can only increase frequency of flights, but only up to a certain point and location, as it takes time to respond to the change in price and supply. In short run production, maintenance and overhaul fees, fuels, and labor costs are variable costs. ABC is average variable cost in short run of AirAsia. The fixed cost is attained. AFC, or the gap between ATC, average total cost, and ABC is the average fixed cost in short run. Come to the long run, AirAsia becomes successful and starting to grow.
Thus, they employ more pilot and air stewardess to work with them. AirAsia's long-run production started when it purchased more fleets and eventually opened new hubs domestically. AirAsia expanded the main hub in LCC terminal to a second hub in Senai International Airport, Johor Bahru. In 2007, AirAsia took the long-run production to the next level by establishing AirAsia X that focuses on long-haul flights which are of 4 hours or more in distance, such as in China or Korea. AirAsia is able to respond to the change of price and demand in the long-run production as there are no variable fixed. In the short-run production, supply is somewhat elastic as some input can still be increased and supply can increase somewhat. In the long-run production, the supply is highly elastic as there is no sufficient time to increase all input. In long-run production, the number of airplanes is increased 40% from 55 to 66 in AirAsia from year 2012 to year 2013. Airplanes are not a fixed variable in long-run production because AirAsia has enough time to purchase additional airplanes. Every expense is counted as variable cost because there is no fixed variables in long-run production. LRAC is long-run average cost includes fuel expenses, labor expenses, maintenance and overhaul fees, and airplane costs. So on the graph of short run and long run, if we can see, in the short run supply, the supply curve is more inelastic because when demand for flight increase from D1 to D2, the price of airfare will increase also. In the long run, the supply curve is more elastic because when demand increase, equilibrium is achieved at C. At point C, price is slightly higher than P1 but lower than P2 and quantity is higher at Q3. Long run supply shows a slight increase in price as we can see at P3. This is because in November 2008, AirAsia demolished fuel surcharge to customers, making airfare cheaper. Okay, thank you. That is our video presentation. Thank you for listening.